Hi, I'm Dustin Call, Director of Operations at Columbia Inland Corporation, home of the Power Pumper. Thank you for your order today. We're going to be walking you through how to assemble your Power Pumper. Currently, we do not have printed instructions, so we are going to walk you through all the steps that you need to know so that you can do it at home and get it done. This is how your Power Pumper will come. I'm going to walk you through all the individual components and all the tools that you're going to need to do the assembly. This is how your box will come. I'm going to take out all the parts to show you all of the various parts of the Power Pumper. This is one of the boxes that comes with your unit. I'm going to take everything out of it so that we can lay everything out and you can see what's inside. And inside that box you will find the steering linkage, a T-plate, a pivot pin, and a rear axle assembly. These are the wheels for your Power Pumper. This is the body of your Power Pumper. This is the sprocket guard. This is the handle guard. This is the hardware for your Power Pumper, including the caps that will retain your wheels and your pumper pin. This is the steering linkage. This is the pumper arm. On the left is the pivot pin, and on the right is the locator or T-plate. This is the rear axle assembly and the chain. This is the brake assembly. The tools you'll need are a Phillips head screwdriver, an 11mm wrench, an 8mm wrench, and a mallet or hammer. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to put your brake assembly in place. The next step is to take your rear axle assembly. You got to make sure that the chain is wrapping around like this. I'll just demonstrate how to wrap it like so. And then you lay these brackets out in position, aligning up with those holes, align up with these holes. It's also important to get your springs into these tiny little holes that resides in this groove. Then you install your screws. Last step is to install your sprocket guard cover. I'm going to install the rear wheels. This right side rear wheel is the most important wheel to get correct. As you notice, there's this little U-shaped part is called a yoke. It engages these spines on the back of this wheel. It's important to make sure that these spines are fully engaged in that yoke. Like so. And then you just gently tap one of these caps on with your mallet or hammer. This other wheel is a lot easier to put on. There's no spines to worry about, no yoke to worry about. You just get it in place and tap your cap on. Now I'm going to install the pumper arm assembly. This is the trickiest part of this whole operation. The way to get this in is to make sure that this notch is to the front of your power pumper, and then you'll get the handle to go through the slot, and you'll kind of roll it in. It makes it a lot easier on yourself if you pre-assemble this slightly by just tapping one of the caps onto your pivot pin. It's important not to tap it on all of the way, otherwise you won't have enough to grip on the other side when you're assembling your power pumper. Alright, so I'm going to take my pivot pin and I'm going to insert it into this hole in the side of the power pumper, and I will align it with the hole inside the pumper arm and back out the other end. Now this step is the hardest part of this whole assembly. Getting these holes all to line up might take you a little bit of effort. Then the last part is to install this cap on this end, but the tricky thing is you have to apply pressure to the other side. It'd be really helpful to have a second set of hands. So when I put this together, this got oriented wrong, but it's really easy to fix, and it's important that this is going the right direction. You'll want this angle right here so it's pointing down towards the bottom of the unit. Right now it's up because it's upside down. First thing I'm doing is installing this T-plate. This goes oriented just like this, with this part pointed towards your pumper arm. And you install it with just a couple screws. Next thing I'm doing is going to be installing this steering linkage. I fit this into the slot, align the holes on the knuckle, and start the nut on the bolt on both sides. And you'll take your Phillips head screwdriver and your 11mm wrench, and tighten this nut all the way tight, and then back it off a quarter turn. And you repeat that over here on this side. I'm going to put on the front wheels. Again, these are pretty easy. There's nothing to worry about as far as anything that they need to engage other than just getting them all the way on the pinion. I'm going to hook the chain to the pumper arm. The first thing is to make sure that this chain is fully extended. Just give it a tug and make sure it spins your wheels. And then when you set the whole unit upside down, it actually naturally forces the pumper arm into the correct position for you to attach this to the pumper arm. Just hook your bolt in there, start your nut, and then you'll use an 8mm wrench and a screwdriver. And the last step is to install the handle guard using the 8 small screws. This actually only will fit on one way, so you got to get it to line up like with the curvature of the body. The way to get it on is to go around one side of the handle, loop it over, turn it the right direction, and it falls into place. You install this with the 8 small body screws.